Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for kickoffs and kick-ons.
3, 2, 1. Prof.
Thank you, Swoop. Yes, hello, welcome to the KOKO Show. Yes, it's kickoffs and kick-ons. Now, new and improved with 100,000 subscribers. Ooh, ooh. They said we'd never make it. Little did they know.
Name them.
Do you actually want me to? Yeah. There's 4 that come to mind. You know what? That was only 22 months to get to 100,000.
Wow.
And I've said this to you before. YouTube keeps sending me emails asking us to slow down.
Yeah.
But we haven't.
Yeah.
And I believe, Drew, do we get some sort of plaque for this 100,000?
I believe if you get 100,000 subscribers, you get a trophy of sorts or a plaque. Hopefully they send numerous.
How do you know that?
I'm just a big YouTuber.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, just up to date. You know,
don't
6, 7, like all that. Yeah, all that.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
guys,
you know
to
what? We've
through.
got to really mark
a
this
YouTuber.
milestone.
Oh, thank you, mate.
You've really steered the ship.
I went out of my way and got us some nice French bubbles.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I just think, whenever you hit a milestone in life, you should celebrate it.
You should.
And
What's the name of that bottle? Because I like to know the name, because then you can, like, remember when we had that bottle? That was for 100,000. You know?
This one is Nicholas Latte.
Beautiful bottle.
Okay, hang on. Make this special.
Beautiful.
Hit the roof. Hit the
I'm
roof.
try and hit the camera.
Go the roof.
we go.
Go the roof.
Here we go. If you're listening right now, Drew is popping the very expensive French champagne.
At the very expensive camera.
At the very expensive camera. Here we go.
I really think you should go
Here
for
we
the
go.
roof.
Here we go.
It's coming.
And
It's coming.
And here we go. It's about to go. And there we go. Congratulations to everybody involved. A big thanks first and foremost to you, the people that have subscribed, the people that have watched every single week. You are a terrific fan base. You come up to us in the street.
Oh, he's going heavy-handed.
Yep.
And we know that you are enjoying what we're doing. So thank you very much. And hey, well, next thing you know, 1 million subscribers, I reckon.
Let's hit 200 first, Prof.
Oh, yep, skipped a few there. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. The other thing I want to mention at the top here, if we can, to all you people that have jumped on Patreon. It's a new little thing that we're trying.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going very well.
How
It's a
did the
nice-
last one go?
That was the best episode of Patreon we've
Why?
done. Because Swoop was back. Okay, is that what you wanted?
Had no conferences last week.
No. Swoop was on. He was firing. He was very good. So it works. It's very simple. It's $2 a week. When you support that Patreon, you get a little something extra.
$2 away.
But you also got to think of it like this. It's supporting this one. And this show will improve if you tip a little bit of cash in. Means things like the spring
Prof,
tour.
This was about to celebrate the 100, not to fucking shamelessly plug some paid thing. Let's just
It's still
celebrate
us.
This. I know, but like it's 100,000. Let's separate it.
Okay. God, he's a pain in the ass. How have I lasted this long? Cheers, everybody.
Oh, I've already drunk.
It's to us. Why did you finish?
Yeah, I didn't finish.
No, there we go. Cheers.
Eyes.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry, you got me.
It's going like clockwork. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fellas.
Well
Congrats.
done.
Honestly, genuine, wholehearted congrats to you guys. And I know, Gits, you make a lot of sacrifices coming up each week and coming up
mate,
and back.
sacrifice.
Prof, you
You want to top me up?
yeah, I know, Adam, you've got a lot on with all your conferences and stuff. So thank you for taking the time each week or most weeks.
Yeah, it was a busy day.
Tommy, everything you do as well. Just guys, obvious.
And good on you, Drew.
Obvious.
And you left James out, but I already said
no,
well
he
done,
jumped- he
James.
jumped in.
James, I said James.
Yeah, right, okay.
Kids and everything. He's got to juggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank
know
you
what?
to the fans.
I got to say one thing. It's fun.
Yes.
I've had shit jobs.
What's been your shittest job ever?
Oh God. You know what? I was a glassy at the Ivanhoe for 3 months in Manly, and I got a cigarette put out on my face. That was
Why?
it's a lady telling a story back when you could smoke inside, and her punchline, she went, bah! And I got psst, right there. You guys, shittest job you've ever had?
I worked at a mobile service station, but back before the prices were digital. So you used to have to get this like long pole with a toilet plunger on the end, and hit the 7 and slide it across, come down, change it, put the 8 back up.
yeah.
I wonder if there's anything that's
But I was
improved
too
you.
young. I couldn't man the console because there was cigarettes. I couldn't buy and sell. I couldn't sell the cigarettes. So I was just basically just the floorman outside.
Yeah, right.
I remember people come up and go, oh, this really old lady came up one time and said, oh, excuse me, young fella, do you mind just checking my oil? I think I'm running low. I was like, yeah, sure, pop your hood. I had a look at it. I had fucking no idea what was going on under the hood.
That looks good.
She went in to pay, came back. You're sweet, darling. Don't know what happened to her.
Did you? Quick question. We've got a very special in studio guest today. Did they do the shooter training with you, where they tell you to turn sideways to protect your vital organs? Because I worked at the Caltex in Narrabeen,
Right.
and first day they said when they come in and they start shooting, just turn sideways. I said okay.
Yeah.
I might run, but they said no, just turn so it hits your shoulder. That's a
Right.
little tip for you guys out there if you're ever getting shot at. Just
Oh, right.
shoulder.
Proper getting shot at.
Yeah, we did.
How bad's he
No,
out?
we didn't do that.
What, Narrabeen?
I used to
He lives there.
I know, but that's what I mean. That's surprising.
Because the person on the console couldn't leave. I used to just get one of those microwave chicken rolls, can of V, and just go out and with a magazine, adults magazine, and used to go out and sit in the mechanics workshop, and just listen to music and
Have your heart racing.
flick through the mag, get the V.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
Wow.
It's like when you pull out, Drew, you shoot sideways because your bent cock goes that way.
Mate, you know that doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
So, Shittest job real quick.
Probably, well, I mean, I was flipping patties at Macca's when I was 15.
I reckon his next one.
The next one, working with the old man.
Oh yeah.
Prick of a boss. Sheet metal fabricator. Up there on the setting.
Have you ever had a job?
Yeah, I did. I was pouring beers at a pub, East Pub.
Is that the one you got banned from?
No, that was a Ruse Club.
Oh, it was fuck.
But I'm back in now. The mayor sorted me out. But then the next job after that, so they sold that pub, and Dad still wanted me to work. So I went to the Kingo, you know the Kingo next door, and they said, turn up at 7 o'clock. I was like, 7? That's fucking early to be on the beers. Anyway, so I go in and they hand me the broom, like a mop, and then a vacuum to clean the toilets and everything else. I said, oh, I thought I was pouring beers. They said, no, you do this and then you work your way up. I said, okay, no worries. I'll leave this here. I just forgot something in the car. Went in the car, went home.
One other shit
I'm
job
not
I
doing
had.
that.
Yeah, I know you're not.
No, yeah.
When I finished school, or like,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
no, of course
I
not.
just
But it was
didn't wanna do
I would
definitely
have loved to know what your
It's
technique
definitely
is
below
on
you,
pouring
though.
beers too, though.
It's not below me,
Can
but
you
I
still
just...
pour beers, though?
Yeah, son. Yeah.
What's your technique like?
Good.
Run me through it.
Easy. On the tilt,
Wait.
3/4, then you get a bit of foam.
Yeah, man, I'm talking
Back half.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
no.
about- All right, you go now.
No, I was just going to say, no, I had another one where we had 8 of our mates. We all had to have jobs. Our parents were going to kick us out at that point. And we all got a job at a telemarketing company, and we're selling those, those professional photo sittings where you can kind of go there. Awful kind of thing to sell. But 8 of us were in there, and we all had like our leaderboards and shit, and you used to ring a bell if you got one. You just basically call up, g'day, mate, how are you? You know, calling mechanics and the like, and say, mate, like Valentine's Day coming up, like, your missus fucking love one of these photography things. Worst job. People next to us in the little consoles next to us had their own little photos, like just to inspire them and stuff. And after about 2.5 days, 8 of us went to morning tea. 6 of us went home. Basically what you did, like, this is
Were they
not us.
erotic photos?
No, they
Nudes?
weren't. No, they weren't
That's a
nudes. No. But then the other 2 boys had to go in. They said, where are the rest? And they go, oh.
They didn't. They couldn't
Yeah,
handle
just
it.
don't know.
Couldn't handle the heat. Let's bring in a man who has literally, what's the time? About an hour ago, been named in the Australian squad to head over for the spring tour. So he would be on cloud
This
nine
is
and a
exactly where he
half.
wants to be after getting that news.
Probably not. Let me bring him in. Tane, it's Tane Edmed, by the way.
Oi.
Tane, come in. Here we go. Come on in. Tane, welcome. Sit down. Let's pour him a little
Yeah, I'll
glass
pour you a
of
glass,
Shittest.
yeah.
Don't feel like you have to. Well, we're
Well,
celebrating many things. here.
Celebrating his selection.
You're a lot bigger in real life. I used to get the opposite.
Now, Tane, your microphone's down there. Tane, there you go. You're talking to that one.
Cheers. Congrats.
Yeah,
Congrats.
well done, boys. To you as well.
Now, what we also
Mate,
do
congrats,
is
brother. Well done.
when we have someone on from Milestone, they have to do the greyhound.
You know what the greyhound
So
is?
this is the muzzle.
No.
And what will that fit on?
Is that
It would
right?
easily fit on mine, I reckon. But
And we'll play Who Let the Dogs Out while you run around.
I've already got mine on, so we can...
Hey, Tane, Tommy's written you an introduction. I don't know. Did you see Nick White's last week?
no, I can't say I did.
Okay, he's still in the field.
It was
position.
scathing.
It was.
I know, but
Probably the
so
best one.
good.
It was the best.
So good, though.
It was
but
really good.
He was on the West Coast. You're sitting here, so I don't know. Is this a nice one? Okay, great. Because he's sitting
You
on.
coward.
This week on the KOKO Show, we have a guest that strays away from our norm. He isn't a seasoned-old salt dog full of war stories and touring yarns about who's you-know-what can comfortably touch the bottom of a you-know-where without any stimuli. However, this fresh piece of test footy meat is a glorious ball of our finest orange clay, ready to be moulded into an absolutely gorgeous centrepiece for Australian rugby. This not-so-fragile firebrand has been thrown in the deep end of international rugby. And when others would most likely sink, this bloke has swum, not only because he has what it takes to be great, but it is scientifically proven redheads have a slightly lighter level of average bone density. Is that right?
Wow.
No.
Did you know that, Tane?
I didn't know
away.
that. No, it's nice to know now.
Higher pain threshold.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say that either, but
Swoop, you like the redheads?
Especially the ones that lock you up with handcuffs. Just before we get going, before you finish that, mate, can we swap? Get that aircon on?
Yeah, you're
Steaming.
sweating.
Okay, for those of you listening, there is air conditioning that is... it's off. We're swapping seats. This has never happened before. Gits and Swoop are swapping seats. This might derail us here.
Nah, this is good. My brothers are redheads. This will work well.
Oh, perfect. Let me finish. So please stand up and cheer for the Aussie 10 that might get folded like a beach chair 7 times in a match, but you can bet your bottom dollar he will get up 8 times and go again. Here's the future of Australian rugby, and just an all-round good bloody bloke is, of course, the one and only Mr. Tane Edmed.
that was
Tommy.
That was very nice, Tom.
it was. Thank you.
When
It's good to be here, boys.
Wow.
When they're in
High
studio.
pain threshold,
Yeah.
lower bone density.
Yeah.
Were you a good swimmer?
I was okay. Yeah, I wasn't too bad at swimming.
I reckon he's good at swimming if he's saying I wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Well, Mum just used to force me to swim.
throw you in.
Oh, summer holidays, whenever it was, just swim.
Were you
Swim,
in
swim,
like
swim.
full length garb? Just
Nah,
to
I was
get
always
out of
the
the sun.
Always the. Actually, not too.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're going all right. Yeah.
Boys think I take melanin, but not true. But yeah, I'm normally in the budgies. I'm a budgiesman.
Yeah.
Personally.
As a we love
Yeah.
budgies. Can I just ask this off the top? Is it Tane or is it Tane? Because
It
we don't
is-
want to be getting it wrong.
It is Tane, but I don't mind Tane either. So personal preference, whatever you like.
Okay, sure. Well, we might just mix it
you're a
up.
good
Yeah,
bloke.
mix it up.
And is it Edmed?
It is
or
Edmed.
is it Edmed?
That's locked away. That's
Okay,
Edmed.
yeah, very good. Hey, congratulations. Like literally an hour ago, you got told you're going on the tour of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Are you pumped? Are you ready to go? Have you seen the rest of the list? Have you already worked out who you don't want to sit near?
Nah, super pumped. It's obviously a really cool one to get on. 5 games in some pretty cool places. And I have had a little look at the list and pretty similar to the squad before with some new additions here and there. But yeah, mate, super excited.
Do you want me to run through it real quick for those
Yeah,
of you that don't know
please.
it? Alan Alatoa, Angus Bell, Josh Canham, Nick Champion de Crepney, Matt Fassler, Nick Frost, Fraser McWright, Josh Nasser, Zane Nongor, Billy Pollard, Tom Robertson, Aidan Ross, Lucan Kalaloto, Pete Samu, Carlo Tizzano, Taniela Tupou, Rob Valentini, Jeremy Williams, Harry Wilson, Bax, Filippo Dunganu, Tane Edmed, Josh Fluke, Carter Gordon, Jake Gordon, Max Jorgensen, Andrew Kellaway, Ryan Lonergan, Hunter Paisami, Dylan Peach, he's back, that's good, Harry Potter, Hamish Stewart, Joseph Akuso Sualihi, Kalani Thomas, and Corey Toole.
Did you say Carter Gordon straight in there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. Okay. So how does it work? So does Joe ring you, or how did you just find out?
So we normally just find out through an email like an hour before
It gets released.
It gets released. Yeah, you kind of, a call is bad news. I believe you don't want to be getting a call. So if a name pops up on your phone, you're maybe starting to stress a little bit.
Yeah. Well, what happens if you don't answer it?
Yeah.
Just rock up at the airport and you go.
Yeah, turn up. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you go into camp?
Thursday at the Pullman in Homebush. And then we fly
Right at
out
Homebush.
Sunday, I believe, to Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, nice.
And like straight away, is there people on that list that you don't want to sit near on the plane? Is there?
Just
Triple threat's got to be
Seriously,
up there.
yeah. I mean,
Tizano. Just the bigger boys as well. I mean,
You be in business, so you got
yeah,
your
that's
own
true.
pod.
Tizzy's up there. Jake Gordon. You don't want to be next to him. Would chew your ear off. Taniela. He's a bit of a pest.
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah.
He likes to play a few pranks.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he when you fall asleep?
Yeah.
Anybody that takes still knocks and then tries to karate chop you?
the hypno.
Was it Rehypnol?
It was both.
This is
Yeah,
what
'cause
Drew
he's
used to
actually
do.
very good on still knocks.
Tane, you have beautiful eyes. Can you just lift your hat up a
Oh,
touch?
sorry.
I know Drew
How about I
doesn't.
just take it off? How about
There we go. Just so we can see them.
Yeah, the Motorino boys.
Motorino.
Nice.
Jack Grant just opened his new store down in Bondi, so good on you
Great
boys.
spot there.
Oh,
Right next
unreal.
to the pocket.
Unreal.
Boys are going well.
Very well.
Now, you made your first start for the Wallabies against Los Pumas.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing atmosphere. I was at that game. Did you hear me cheering for you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I was a long way up the back. These guys didn't get me into any sort of suite that day. That's a shame. Like, dream come true, like something you always wanted to do. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that I've been striving for recently. Probably something I haven't always wanted to do. I was a massive cricketer growing up. All I wanted to do was play Test cricket, and that kind of got pushed to the side and started chasing the rugby dream. So definitely, ever since I put my sights on it, it's definitely been something that I wanted to do, and to do that, especially in a home crowd in Sydney was unbelievable. Didn't probably go how I would have liked it to go, but that's always the case, really. So it was just a really special moment.
You've all done it. You're shitting bricks before you.
Oh yeah,
Do you
my
remember,
one. My one was because I'd come from. I wasn't even starting in my age group, so I was like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah.
And at the time, Eddie Jones had like a scoring system. If you do something good, +1. Do something bad, -1. I ended up at -4, and I was on for 8 minutes. I was fucking bad. But it's the way you learn. You learn from mistakes.
My first game, I came on a lot earlier than I was expecting. I was off the bench and came on about 45 minutes or something, and ended up pairing in the centres with Wendell Saylor. We had a lot of injuries in the backs in that game early. So Big Dell was my 12, I was 13 against South Africa. We won by about 35 or 40 points or something. So
wow.
He's not passing the ball much. Is he, Big
he's
Dell?
not passing much. But in terms of like the type of game you want to go onto, it's like one where the boys are already dominant, and it's a pretty comfortable win in the end for us.
Swoop, you remember yours?
Yeah,
Were you
well, I mean, I
cracking?
didn't have time to get nervous. I also couldn't have been nervous because had a few under me. Like I'd come from the 10th row of the Subiaco stands.
Sorry, you'd had a few beers before you.
Yeah, and pies. But apart from that, I didn't play for a while after that. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, coming from that, you usually get a week's prep. I had 6 minutes.
It also doesn't feel real when you first run on. We were all off the bench. You were starting, so that's even more nerve wracking because when you're on the bench, you're hoping, like Drew said, the team's up by plenty, and then you just come on and you get your little 5 minutes, and you don't disrupt the team in any way. When I came on, we were down by a point. We finished down by a point because I added nothing. And that's the worst feeling when you go on and.
That was under Eddie. What were your what was the KP? Was it the KPI system?
Yeah, mine.
Plus.
Yeah, plus and minus. That's where I was -4.
Oh,
8 minutes I went on, and it was a tight game. I want to ask, when you did that, wasn't a full season, but it was a few months over in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And that's where you really came back onto the scene. Like you were playing some awesome rugby. How much do you attribute now being in the Wallabies from that time?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it got me into the squad initially. Like, I had a TARS season, didn't really finish how I or we would have liked as a team, and then went across to New Zealand for 4 months, and had an absolute ball of a time as well. Like they know how to do the off-field stuff, the Kiwis, and that was a lot of fun, and kind of just taught me to just relax a little bit, to be honest with you, and just enjoy it a little bit more and just play with a lot of freedom. And it got me into that squad for the spring tour last year, and got my foot in the door. So I definitely attribute a lot to that little stint in New Zealand.
well, we saw a lot of growth in your game because we actually saw a lot of highlights with how you played over there. And you're on. I want to know. You're talking about playing relaxed. Run us through your mindset and how you approached the game over there and what you learnt. Like, what was, I guess, your biggest growth as a footy player coming from Australia to New Zealand, mixing up in a different culture, and what's the biggest difference, or what was the biggest comparison from the footy that you played here and the footy that you played there?
I think it seems to be a lot more player driven over there, and I was playing NPC, so it is somewhat semi-professional, so it will be relaxed.
It's good footy.
Naturally. But I just noticed how the boys connect with each other, and how we as players, and especially me as a game driver, was able to kind of got given the keys and given the freedom to play how I wanted to play. And that was probably the biggest thing, and just a different way to approach rugby. I'm probably someone who tends to be, in the past, very structured and rigid, a bit stiff probably, and it just got me out of my shell a little bit and just taught me to get away from the game of rugby and relax and just enjoy it for what it is. And
Was there anything there that you brought back here and tried to influence the guys around you back in these programs?
sometimes can be hard because it depends on the coaches and what they want in their side. For me, it was that connection piece away from the game. That was the biggest thing. It's probably something I can work on, and I think teams in Australia can work on a little bit, is how well we're connecting, away from rugby. And something at the TARS that, because everyone's from New South Wales, they've all got their own families, their own lives, and I think that's sometimes something that makes it a little bit difficult. But then you look at boys like Canberra, Perth, a lot of boys from all over the place, how they connect with each other off the field as well. So that's probably the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I thought that as well. Like, I played at the Reds Force and the Waratahs. Of all teams in terms of off-field connection, the Waratahs probably didn't have as much because of that fact, right? You've all got your own circle of friends that you grew up with, or you've got your families, whatever. But also, Sydney's been such a big place of boys out in the west, up Northern Beaches, in the east. Like, geographically, it was just hard, it was just too hard for everyone to get together all the time, which meant that, the only time of connection was either on a tour, which you don't get now because you don't go to South Africa, but that also, when you're in at training, which you're always, just your lungs are busting. So, whereas the Western Force, when we're over there, pretty much all of us weren't from there.
Yeah, Sharpie ran a tight ship.
Yeah, real tight
good.
ship. Everyone hung out socially together, which meant that, in the team sort of scenarios, we were a lot tighter as well.
I actually thought, though, because I ran to Sharpie after the Bledisloe Perth, we're at the airport together, and we're just talking about our time in Perth. And it was great off the field, but I felt we underachieved because we're so happy to have the party, not really try and win things.
Well, it was a bit of a Wild West at the time. We didn't even have a coach that was allowed to coach. Like, it's a big, probably there's plenty of elements to it. But you've made a decision to go to the Brums. So what was
good
behind
boy,
that?
smart.
Another little redheaded.
That's it. We love him down there.
Just, again, a development decision, same as sort of going to New Zealand. I think it might have just been time for something new, and to get coached by Bernie Larkham is obviously something that's really, really appeals to me. Probably one of the greatest fly halves for Australia. That's something that definitely appealed to me, and just a change. I've been at the TARS now for 5 years now. Probably, it's been a roller coaster, up and down, probably a little bit more than I would have liked. So yeah, just kind of a fresh start and just trying to get better, and I think that's a good place to do it.
Speaking about getting better, you reached out a while ago, and we hadn't actually met. And you asked me to kind of link you with DC around kind of having a conversation around potentially kicking and how he kind of navigates the game. First question, both related. Two questions to say, both related. One, what did you pick up from him? What was the insight that was most valuable to you? And two, to one of the other great tens of the game.
Done. Please.
I want you to think of a question or something you can ask from him, and you have to answer it seriously.
What do you mean?
This
is
Dan
Carter.
Carter.
Right now.
Oh, right.
Yes. So
DC,
run us through the DC, like
Dan
the DC
Carter.
conversation.
Because
and also, I was really impressed by that. Obviously, you got a growth mindset and always looking to improve. And you had the brass reach out to me to kind of link you with him, which was awesome. What did you pick up from him, and two, what would you ask if you had the opportunity?
It was a while ago now, but I think for me with Dan Carter, it was just about how intentional are you with your preparation. For me, I've been someone that maybe does a lot of extra work, but maybe just drifted through it a little bit, like just got it done because I felt like that was enough. And and then I've seen a lot of guys, as well as Dan Carter, but a lot of guys in training who are just so intentional from the moment they step on the field. They might not stay out there for as long as everyone else, but they're locked in, and for me, it kind of shifted my mindset to, okay, not so much quantity, it's just the quality of those reps and being as intentional as you can. That was probably something that I took away from Carts, Dan Carter. I don't think I'm close enough to call him.
Oh, you can call him.
But I have heard with Gits, DC, I did ask DC about you and how you kind of approach the game, and I heard that you're very, very meticulous, almost OCD with certain things in your preparation. I guess, do you feel like there is a point where it becomes a disadvantage to be like that, or almost detrimental to your game?
Well, I mean, it all depends. I don't really know what DC was referring to with the certain OCD. Like for me, the biggest thing that I want is, and I would drive as a 10, was everyone else knowing their role and their knowledge. So that meant for me, on a Sunday or Monday, early in the week, I knew our game plan. You sit with the coaches or you sit with whatever. You've got an input to some extent, or you're understanding what the coach is trying to get that week, and what you've got to drive. So I like to get across that as early as I can in the week so that I understand every drill and different things that we're doing and how I can influence the group in that way. Is kind of...
I've encountered multiple sprays from Goits and captain's run where blokes might be asking questions around certain roles or certain lines, and you go, nah, if he doesn't fucking know it by now, he's not going to know it by tomorrow. And that was it.
I mean, you've had all week
That's
to
what I
learn
mean.
it. You know, like, it's a professional environment. It's high, like, high rewards. It's just like, it's high-end sport. You don't really have time to coddle or baby people through, especially at the test level. You know, everyone that's got there has shown ability and how they can influence a game. But I think as far as detrimental, maybe sometimes I'd get the shits where it'd be too short sometimes in a game.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too honest with blokes.
Yeah, it'd take me a while to then get over that. But as long as I knew the game plan and where all the players were early in the week, I felt like I could then play more instinctively, because I know naturally that I'm going to have two loose forwards out there and I've got like a centre back there, so I can now look up and try and pick the defence apart a little bit. Is kind of how, like, as far as meticulously planning, that would be the OCD part of my game potentially. I mean, I don't know. It's hard.
I reckon it might be
talking about
referring to
yourself,
just
really,
your routine, like, you know, your little, how you write your on the strapping tape the night before. Right, your little plays,
It's
things
just
like that.
you reinforce your game plan. I'll write it down, you know, the night before on the sheet, but I already knew it. But it's just like my last little.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's superstitious. You got your little things.
I copped a spray early from Chris Whitaker for around that. Like, Jeremy Williams came up to me one session, was like, "Do you know what I'm doing on this play?" And I was like, "Oh, mate, I'm not sure." He walked up to Wits and asked Wits, and then Wits turns around at me and goes, "Why the don't you know?" And I was like, "Oh, all right." Ever since that day, I'm like, I got to make sure that I know across the board what people are doing.
Yeah.
So if they ask me a question at training, I can give them the answer.
Well, I kind of liked it more that I could spray them. So, you know, like, you know, if you go to the
Find your
line,
motivation.
well, you hit up this way, and you know the next you're supposed to have a pod there. You go to the line, the person's not running short. Rather than like looking at the coach, what's the answer? I can then address it on the field. I just feel it's more powerful coming from a player than a coach. You know,
How long did it take you, though? So obviously Tane's reasonably new.
Yeah, but so when I first came in, I just learnt my role. I'm playing with Bernie Larkham, George Gregan. If you didn't know your role, like, they're into you from the start. So on the Monday, so your Monday session is where you go through your plays, whatever it's new or you're just installing what you're doing, but it's at a low speed. So the low speed means physically it's not taxing, but mentally you've got to be switched on. And if you're not, when you come Tuesday, that's when the senior players would rip into me. So I just knew early on that was what was expected of me. And then I assumed as you get older or you transition into that senior role that these players would know that. But it's becoming harder and harder now because kids, I say kids, but the players playing now, it's harder to give that feedback and not upset them. You know, I find there potentially can be, you've just got to find a different way to communicate that, because the way it was back in the day wouldn't work anymore.
Do you feel like that, Tane? Like, if you give, I'm sure you've given your teammates sprays, do they go into their shell, or is it a positive reaction?
Well, it's just about knowing your teammates, right, and how they take feedback. I mean, you know, there's boys who you're probably better off maybe taking them aside, you know, after training and just having a quiet word about it. And there's some guys who respond well to a spray. I'm probably being a little bit more, what Gitz was saying earlier, is just trying to nail my role and make sure that I'm doing my job first and foremost. But then, you know, in New Zealand, when I felt like I was given the freedom, I could then drive the other players because I felt comfortable doing that. Whereas in some environments, I probably haven't felt as comfortable and just been trying to make sure that my game is where it needs to be, because at the end of the day, it's probably the most important thing. But then once you start to feel comfortable in an environment, that's when you can start to as kids say, maybe spray a few boys, and probably not at that point just yet.
I mean, let's talk about that. You've spoken to it a couple of times, like getting the keys when you're over in the NPC, and then it gave you the confidence to go out there and play and take ownership and all that. Like, but then you look at, say, the Wallabies squad over the last 12 to 18 months, maybe even longer. Like, there's been any number of 10s. No one's really been thrown the keys to say, look, this is your team.
Yeah.
And do you think that maybe no one's necessarily locked in that position because you've always been looking over your shoulder a little bit, in the sense that, you know, if a player goes in for 1 or 2 games and they don't play as well, then it's they've been being changed the next week, and so frequently through the last 12 to 18 months. Do you think, like, obviously, of course, you want it to be you, but do you think it needs to be throw the keys at someone and back them?
I think it needs.
I mean, I know I've just put you in a hard position because you're in the squad and you're one of those players, but
I think it needs to be earned, right? Like, you need to show week in, week out in training that you're doing the right things over and over, and that consistency of performance that, you know, any number of 10s we probably haven't shown, and including myself. So you really have to earn that right, and I just don't think we've probably done that as a game driving unit as well as we could to kind of deserve that.
Okay. I think as a punter now, or an observer of the game, we don't have that insight into the conversations that you have within the change room or the team meeting room. Give us something that Joe Schmidt, because you're talking about earning the right. What's he giving you? What are the conversations and that kind of detail that he's providing to you to allow you to know that you've earned the right to the 10 jersey?
Yeah, look, some people probably don't see with Joe, but he can be pretty ruthless. And
I've heard that.
Yeah, he can be pretty ruthless around training, and he's particularly hard on his fly halves. Like,
Why?
It's a decision-making position.
Yeah,
like,
we're
driving the game, and we have to make the right decision under pressure. And I've kind of found that he's trying to put us under pressure. That's what he's doing at training. Because if we can't do it at training with just him, how are we going to do it in front of 60,000 on the weekend? So when you kind of look at it like that, in the moment, it's not nice. Like, you're human. Oh yeah. You cop it in the moment, and you're like, that one stings in front of the boys, and you got to try and bring yourself back. But then, you take a bit of time and you start to go, he's trying to make me better, and when you look at it from that perspective, if I can start to deal with this pressure now at training, then the game's going to be easy.
I just want to know, what's one thing he's given you in terms of positive feedback that's landed really well, and two, what's work on that's kind of stung?
I think he has said that he likes the way I prepare for games, the way I go about getting my work done and getting my knowledge done and stuff like that. He seems to be a fan of that. Some of the things that sting, I think he gets up me for he calls it being sparked. So being on all the time and focused. That is his biggest thing is, if there's a short kickoff and they're not ready, he wants you to take it and he wants you to be ready for that. If he yells out and he wants you to swap teams, he wants that to happen right away.
So he's saying he wants you more engaged.
Correct. Engaged all the time, and whether that's out the back of a pod, you're engaged. At a ruck, you're engaged. Team meetings, you're engaged. You're just always sparked. Like, just little games. Like, after training one day, training was done. I asked for a footy from someone to throw me a footy. I was doing some kicking, and someone throws me a footy, and as the ball's in the air, Joe chucks me another one, and I catch both of them, and he goes, "Spark."
Engaged.
Because it's spark, does he?
Yeah, spark.
Sounds like a nicer Eddie. Remember, like, when Eddie would first come in, he would do the same to young guys. Like, for me, Gits, take the kick, mate. Here, Greeks, come over, watch Gits kick. And so then Griegs would come over. Everyone comes over, and then you've got a kick in front of everyone. But the nerves that you feel there are more than even the stadium. Yeah. And it does get you ready to make. Well, I mean, to a certain extent, like, it gets you making the right decisions more often than not, because at training you've learned, and he's screaming, "Yes, what was that?" You're like, okay, next time I've just got to do this. And then, but that was on a Monday or Tuesday. By the time you hit Saturday, you know the right option to take. So, it's a tough position to be in, especially like for me, I was coming in at 12. So I had someone else making the decisions. Whereas you're coming in at a young age where you've got to make all the right decisions and bring that spark. I mean, I think you're doing a great job.
Appreciate it.
Harry Wilson's the other one I wanted to ask about, because we watch him from afar and he seems to be, leading by example and also getting up his players. Is he somebody that's having a crack at his teammates? Is he somebody that's inspiring you guys?
I wouldn't say Wilso's overly vocal with his leadership style. He's, as you said, lead by example sort of guy, and he's definitely a really positive guy. You won't hear him get up many boys at training. Like everyone's got a different leadership style, right? Like Whitey is definitely someone who he's given me a few good ones. Gets up boys and they're just different in how they do things. And Wilson's definitely probably softly spoken and prefers to lead by example at training and in games.
What I liked most was when he decided to go for the corner. And I know we've spoken about it, but I could watch that clip where he then tells the ref, yeah, go to the corner. He turns to the boys, he goes, let's fucking go, we're going. And he just gets everyone going.
Yeah.
It's good.
Australian Rugby's in a good spot, mate. Can I, Gits was telling me about a thing when you go and join the Brumbies, how you have to impersonate a horse in front of the whole.
Oh, God.
Did you know this? That they...
No, well, you always know there's some sort of initiation thing going on, so it's good to know that maybe we can start practicing.
Swoop you, because can you do...
Well, I was going to say, when did that come in?
Can you...
No, well, Greg did it easy.
Can you do your horse for us, Swoop?
No.
Terrific.
No, it's a one and done thing.
Yeah,
probably.
mate.
You do it in front of everybody.
I went through the initiation a long time ago.
No, mate. Very good. Hey, your old man, Steve, one of the great Tigers.
Yeah.
Does he ever try to give you tips on how to be fly half for the Wallabies and you say, fuck off, Dad? You were a prop for the Tigers? Or
He definitely does give me some stuff every now and then. And he'll always be like, yeah, I'm sorry, mate. Like, I know I haven't played that position, but like, that's just what I think, right? And I still appreciate it. Like, he's coached me since I was a young fella in league. He coached me all the way through. Taught me a lot about what I know, not so much to do with kicking, that's for sure. But mate, I definitely still definitely take his advice when he gives it to me.
did he play any union, Steve? Did he play?
No union. He
Does he
purely
ever
league.
give you advice, like illegal advice?
Illegal advice?
My old man played rugby league as well, and he's like, mate, you should just elbow him when you're at the bottom there. I was like, Dad, there's cameras everywhere. Like, we're going to get picked up on that.
He more so talks about, off the field.
Oh, yeah,
when he always says, mate, there were no cameras around when I was getting around. You could get away with a lot more stuff, talking about off the field, sort of stuff they get up to back then. And every story that he ever tells me has 5 different endings. Right, and I've heard every single story 1,000 times. I hear him telling different mates. It's different every time. More mayo on it. Yeah, exactly.
So your old man Ronnie would have played against Steve. It was because he in the 80s.
Yeah,
so would they have
maybe.
late Tigers, Raiders.
No, so my old man was
early 80s.
Then Mal came. Mal Meninga took his spot.
Yeah, fair enough.
And my nan thinks Mal's overrated. I said he's an immortal.
Yes, wasn't your old man Wes, though?
He started West. He's journeyman. Yeah, a little bit like Bivvy. West, then he went to Roosters and then finished the Raiders.
Oh, geez, the old Tigers, geez, are a good side in the 80s. Hey, let's talk about these upcoming games that you've got coming up, just in case you haven't actually looked at who you're playing yet. Japan, that'll be a good one, up against Eddie. That's your first one.
What time is that? Is that
locally here or for Tane? Because I don't want to give him the wrong time.
I think more for Tane, only because I think against England last year, he tried to make it in the afternoon.
Well, who knows I think he's done it again because it's 4:50 p.m. here, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Two an hour or two behind. Two now.
Yeah,
now.
That'll be pretty hot. 2:50. It'll be muggy.
Yep.
Oh well, Aussies can handle
Means
it.
only being
we like the
30.
mug.
Yeah, we'll be right. How do you think we'll go against Japan? I mean, I don't want to put the mockers on us, but we should be all right.
Yeah, we should be fine. They were good without being great in that Pacific Nations Cup. So,
and then England at Twickenham or Allianz. That'll be a good one. You've all played there. You've all said it's amazing.
That's the one. Like that's the one in every tour that we look for. I mean, I don't know what it's like now, but for us back in the day, like that's the one that you celebrate the hardest when you win, and if you lose, that's the one that stings the most.
It's the one that you get really excited to prepare for or arrive to off the back of the year before's win, because you know how enjoyable it is when one, you're winning, and how silent the crowd is, because it starts off very vocal, the low sweet chariot, and then getting into the old school bathtubs. I don't think they have them now, but the Rose Room, just the whole
but I think it's
experience.
also first game of the tour as well. I mean, over there.
Spring tour,
I
yeah.
mean, Japan obviously, but then over there, like, you can really set up your spring tour as well. So
It's the one you get the most enjoyment out of.
after Jorgo's try the last time,
Yeah.
he played there, like, plenty to play for.
Are the baths gone, are they?
No, I think they're still in there. It's just not quite the same as what they used to be. They just
Yeah, right.
Can you shoot us a note and just let us know if the baths are still
Yeah,
there?
just get in the bath.
Maybe a photo of you and the boys. Just
yeah.
I
do.
actually have a great photo of these boys in the bath, so we'll frame it now.
are you nude?
No, I think
Of
Buzzy's-
course, old school. Much nude boy.
Swoop
Like
was, but he was at the back.
are the boys still getting their swords out in the showers?
Not as much as I reckon you
That's
boys
a real
would have.
shame.
Not as much as you boys would have.
It's like a rite of passage.
True,
Like, when
what?
I first started, I was tights, and then I was like, okay, I'm the only one in here in tights. So then I was nude, but like
Facing the wall?
knob to wall. Like I was so close to the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and just like scrubbing myself. And then after a while, I was like, well, you can only piss with the dick you got. Like,
Yeah.
And yours.
and if-
Sensational.
and if someone's not happy with it, blame my father. 'Cause that's where I got it from.
Mate,
So like, what can you do?
I got some pretty heavy feedback pretty early. First game, first grade North. It was like I was walking into the showers with my tights on, and Chris Yates, the 10 at the time,
Yeah, because
He
he's
goes,
hung
"Mate,
like a horse.
get them off. So what do you mean? He goes, you don't shower in them, mate. So I took them off, and then he goes, what's going on there? And always, every man's got a complex at that age,
Yeah.
right? And I said, what, too short? He goes, no. He goes, bush. He goes, what is that, mate? You might have to get on top of your back burning. He goes, look at this. Yeah, no, not one bit of hair on him. So,
That's probably the one bit of advice you
and I've been
listen
clipping
to.
ever since.
But that's
a
also
whistle.
coming from Yates here, who's like, we played Aussie Sevens with him, and,
Okay.
and one of the great quotes.
We'll put a photo in.
one of the great quotes is, "Holy fuck, bro, you got a horse's cock."
Yeah, I was about to say he could have done the Brumby.
Fantastic.
pretty
This
easy.
is all good. That's our social clip as well, Tommy, right there. Hey, then you take on Italy. Over there in Rome.
Oh, Rome.
Is it Rome Blue Energy Stadium? Can you check for me, Tommy? That'll
No,
be
I think it's
outstanding.
further north. I think it's
Oh,
like,
is it? I think
I'm
you're
pretty
right.
sure it's in Turin or something.
Yeah,
or-
but whatever you do, make sure you have plenty of charcuterie boards. Get into the queue.
Is it up there in Torino?
Charcuterie boards? No. You get your salami, you get your prosciutto.
Sounds very Italian to me.
You get your... Tommy, you got no
Yeah, that's
idea.
a great place to play.
Mm.
It's awesome.
Udine. Udine.
Mhm.
And then
Udine.
and then a couple of belters to finish. We got the Irish
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At the Aviva.
at Aviva, which will be amazing. And then the French.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a
That's a
decent...
tough tour.
That's
Yeah.
a tough tour.
Yeah.
Great
That's a
tour.
good
that.
tour.
A good tour, yeah.
Oh, finishing in France.
Yeah, that's not bad. Palmo.
C'est pas mal.
Get I'll be there next week.
Might be très
Maybe
froid.
we'll
Might be
hide some
snowing.
things around Paris and send you guys on a bit of an amazing race, like a little treasure hunt.
Oh, that's a
It'll
good
be fun.
idea.
That's not a bad
It'll probably
idea.
be a 9 p.m. kickoff too. That's a long day.
It's a
Yeah.
long day over there.
Very good. Hey, God, we're gone for 50 minutes. This has been a very good chat.
It's
great.
been one of the
Sorry,
greats.
I found myself just listening and then going, wait a sec, you're the host. You better say something. Very good. You started it, mate.
Yeah,
Mate, you're on.
You're like a fire starter. You're good over there.
You are.
I feel like I'm better here.
I feel
It's
good in
throwing
this
me,
seat.
yeah.
I feel good in this seat.
R360. Are we giving it any oxygen?
Yeah,
Everybody
I would
is.
like to. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Here we go. Go on, Gets.
Oh, I think it's ridiculous. Not the competition, but not the
That
competition.
they can't play for
Oh,
their
yeah,
nations.
why not?
Yeah.
If you've lifted the law, the Mitchell-Giddo law, if that's been lifted, then they're playing overseas anyway. It's just another
It ac-
competition. I just don't understand that part of it.
It makes it easier because the R360 doesn't clash with any of the international windows, so you don't have to worry about talking to club coaches like we've had to with Ronan O'Gara and La Rochelle or for Big Willie
Yeah.
and some of these other guys. So it would be easier in terms of access to players who are playing R360. Now, I understand that all the, or if not all, but a major collection of the international unions got together and as a collective, they said we won't pick anyone from R360. So basically, they
Who
want to
started it though? You reckon it's got to be?
basically they want to kill the competition, right? Because these guys are disruptors. They're coming in to disrupt the game. But the other side of the argument is, well, most unions are going broke, right? The game of rugby is not generating money the way we've been doing it for a long period of time. So
Preaching to the choir here, mate.
yeah, but so
helping them out.
there's the notion that you've got to change something to try and change that, right? And if this might be the thing, it might also fail. But if you don't try new things, you're not going to get a new outcome. So I don't mind this whole disruptor thing. I think that if R360 is to come, it has to last more than 2 years. It has to be a viable situation. Now with the money they're talking, is it going to be viable? Who knows? I mean, it's going to be one of those things you have to let it play out to see if it is. But you don't want it to be a splash in the pan, because then any disruptor moving forward will have no path for them because this one's failed. So it's like they've got one shot at it for everyone, and it's got to work.
I think negotiating, if I put my contract hat on, I'm going to be the agent representing Tane. I'm like, you believe in this product that you're doing, so the deal that you're offering him is huge. It's just a 1-year deal, but I want that guaranteed over 3 years. If you believe in it, and then that's the way that I'd look after the players, but it also shows that there's actually longevity. They have interest in it existing for a while, and they can still come back and play for their country, and there's just so many advantages, not just financially, but moving away from home, getting out of that bubble. Like going over to France, going over to Japan.
NPC.
New Zealand, yeah.
Going to New Zealand, exactly right. Like you can learn so much about yourself, but your game can develop because you're not just playing the same style of rugby all the time. You can come back and add so much more, like a Will Skelton has for the Wallabies. Like if he just stayed and played Super Rugby, I don't think he would have developed the way he has. So anyway, that's my rant.
I also think that it's funny because I think the R360's greatest marketing tool is the NRL. Like all their journos, all their TV guys, everyone in rugby league is just constantly talking about R360, saying that they don't worry about it there. And when they start getting nasty and start calling it names and start laughing about it and all that, that it's actually really worrying. Like the insecurities of the rugby league community are really coming out because they're obviously going to go for these guys because the lure of playing for the Wallabies for them isn't on the table because it's never been for them so far. Right, so I think there'll probably be more leagueies that jump across than Wallabies. But I mean,
could you not do it next year and then still come back for 2027 and play for the Wallabies? Like,
I don't know.
Because they're also saying the Olympics is out of the question as well. You can't not getting picked for the Olympics.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
sevens.
then you've just got to obviously stop doing your long jump. Just start focusing on the R360.
Exactly.
Like, it's only really those sevens players that.
No, but
potentially
I mean,
would
I'm just
jump
meaning
across.
like how they're trying to ban it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
So us as a podcasting group, if R360 come to us,
Sounds like we're interested. Doesn't it?
well, that's what I'm
all
getting.
for it.
That's what I'm feeling big time.
Swoop.
Are you in?
Yeah, what do you reckon, son?
Please. You know the question. Yeah.
Stupid question. All right, Rugby World Cup pool. That's 3rd of December. It's going ahead. That's why this spring tour is also very important.
Yeah.
Currently, I believe we sit 7th.
Yep.
Just a whisker behind the Los Pumas. Less than a point. Thank you, Tom. So we need to, if you want to get into the 6 pools, you want to be in the top 6. So I don't know if that's something you guys are thinking about, Tane, but
You have to, yeah.
yeah.
Should now, yep.
Yeah. Which is all very interesting. Record attendance for the Wallabies, biggest since the 2003 World Cup. The public is interested and they are loving
The
it.
game is back.
The game is back. It basically started to go like this. There was this little podcast that started about 22 months ago.
Well, who was that?
Yeah, something about KOKO.
How many subscribers? have they got?
100,000.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Carter Gordon's back. We've already said that. That's good. I think good for the game. Carter Gordon. He didn't do much with the Titans. 2 games.
No, it's good that he's back in the game. I don't know necessarily if I agree with him going straight on a spring tour. He hasn't played. He's played what 2-3 rugby league games in 12 months.
2, yeah.
Straight into. I mean, whether he plays or not, you were talking about it before. You got to earn the right to get that 10 jersey. Like, look, before he left, he showed some talent. Obviously, the 23 World Cup didn't go well for anyone, but he just hasn't played much footy recently. So, but it might be that he's going over there to kind of get in the environment and and try and bring him to speed a bit quicker.
Yeah, but couldn't he have stayed and done Super Rugby? Like, you do the preseason, go the hard way. Like,
yeah.
That's only my thing. Not that he isn't a great player.
No.
I think he's a good player, and obviously he's shown the talent because he was with the Wallabies. But he did go away, and like Tane was saying, I feel like Wallaby jerseys have to be earned, not just given.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have seen maybe just come back and do Super Rugby, tough that out, do a really tough stint.
Yeah.
Prove yourself in Super Rugby. Obviously, we'll see the talent that he's got. Then he's earned the right to play for Wallabies.
Yeah.
Because Ben Donaldson isn't in that squad,
He's
but
Aussie
Dono's
A.
back. Yeah.
He's playing Aussie A against Japan.
There you go. Lots happening.
On the weekend.
Yeah, on the weekend. But even Max Bury, I thought he'd be in one of those 2 squads.
Very good during the Super Rugby AUS. So we are on this health kick. Oh, no,
You did tell me about that at the gym.
Saw me.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. He's got a whoop.
Yes,
I was telling him the benefits and the the disadvantages of a whoop. One being that as soon as you have a few drinks, you wake up with a 1% recovery.
Yeah.
It makes you feel worse than before, but I'm sure you've experienced that yourselves, all of you.
What do you got there? That's a kinky little band you've got too.
Yeah, it's just one for training because those ones get a bit yucky and
Yeah, that's what I was
Have
Sweaty
you not
when
got
you've
the
been-
sports band yet, Gits?
Oh, wow.
Swoop, you've got the sports band.
I didn't even know your whoop
Peggy
was
Whoop.
on, but it looks good.
Peggy Whoop's got the sports band, but he hasn't done any sport.
No. So I'm hooked. I've got to be honest
Yeah.
with this whoop thing. I'm looking at it a lot. It's funny because you can snoop on each other.
Yeah.
And you can, because your resting heart rate is amazing. You're
Yeah.
36 beats per minute.
Potentially
No.
bad.
wow.
Yeah,
That's very low.
I know. It's bad. I thought it was 38, but you
I
do the whoop
snooped
scoop.
today.
Yeah.
It's 36.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
a
know.
crazy fit. Or
Well, I don't know. Or, I could be close to the end, which would be great for the pod. But I'll go get it checked out. It will be good for the pod.
Oh, but only for 1 week. Then we'd miss you.
Oh, you don't reckon you could drag it out for a couple of months?
couple of weeks.
Oh, well, your eulogies. I've only probably got 3 minutes in me.
Yeah. And then you'll move in.
Yeah.
You'll come downstairs. Kids
I'll
will
be
call
in there
you
As
back.
I
first,
carry
don't
a
you
casket
worry
out
about
and get my suitcases in.
Yeah.
Always goes well on the live show, Tane, when I ask Gits which one of these two in the event he died. Would he like to move in with the missus? And it's,
Yes.
Oh, it's,
I'd happily trust
it's me by
Drew.
and
I'm
then
not saying I
daylight.
don't trust Swoop. You know what I mean? I actually don't trust my missus with Swoop. That's what it is, isn't it?
Of course. So, yes, it's this health kick. We got to get down to 10% body fat. Other things while I've been snooping, Swoop, your resting heart rate's 78, which I'd get that checked.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Have you been checking up my numbers?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, that's what happens when you join a community.
And we can see it all. I get that checked.
That was actually going to be
On-
my learning, how much I'm hooked to now the data.
I am
Every
too.
morning you look at your REM, like your sleep, all that type of stuff.
It's changing my life. Swoop. It is honestly.
Yeah, and now our community's also growing. Like I think today I'm currently at 36 or something in my strain. Like that's not great.
Yeah, but your
I'm
strain...
36th in our group.
Oh, gotcha.
So there's 35
Gotcha.
guys or girls, not sure who, like the makeup of them, that have trained or has strained more than I have.
yeah, but
today.
don't you
No,
go heavy
I
in the
think-
pain at the end of the day?
Yeah, I'll do a bit after this.
Viv, I think we're up to 80. It's
right.
growing really quick. So if you want to join our Whoop group, it's called the KOKO Unathletic
Department.
Department, and there is a code down here. Maybe there, or it might be on the. Where's the code going to be, Tom? There's going to be no code. So get on and find it. Do your best. It's a big thanks to Whoop, and we've
Yeah,
got
love it.
7 weeks to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've locked in, guys.
Yeah.
I've
did a
locked
little
in as
10K
well.
trot on the
locking in
weekend.
tomorrow.
I set out for 3K, ran 10.
Wow.
Whoa!
Your cheeks were very red,
Yeah, it was
In that video,
It was a hot
'cause it was
weekend.
hot, yeah.
yeah.
but I was so impressed. That got me going. I was like, you know what, Bianca, I'm going for another sprint.
It is good because you look at what everybody else is doing,
Yeah.
and you go, "Oh, well, I'll go do an extra walk with the dog." You know, just to try and get up.
Yeah, the
pace. I'm
dog's like,
dragging the dog around. Yeah, good on you, Whoop. Long may the relationship continue. Hey, we are coming to a close. Tane Edmed, thank you so much for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute privilege. It was.
Yeah.
I think this has
Yeah.
been one of the greats.
Oh, will ya?
Tanos, you're a fucking legend.
Mate, it has to be 100,000 subscribers episode.
Oh,
it need to be big.
It
Yeah,
did.
we need to
You
get
guys
it.
allergic
big.
to your champagne, are you?
Good luck in Europe and
Yeah,
Japan.
thank
Yeah, mate, go well.
Yeah,
We'll
well.
certainly smash it for us. We
Yep.
will be watching.
Cheers.
And here's to
Cheers,
the next
cheers,
100,000.
Cheers, boys.
you.
Well done.
All that's left to do when you've had your swig, Bivvy.
Make it a good one, Bev. Cuckoo!
Love it.
I like that. Had a nice little bit of pitch about it.
Oh, wow. That is the best video on YouTube. You know what you need to do now? You need to like and subscribe down there. Or if you want extra content, might be down there, you need to go up here or up here and get more of that gear. Thanks for supporting Kickoffs and Kick-Ons, and we will see you very soon.